What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of
Don't do that.
Don't Do That here on 16 TV on Mad as Hell Monday. We mad as hell,
y'all. Mad as hell. I mean, because Trump be trumping and people be trumping their horns right behind them when it comes to some of this stuff.
man.
So
and the racism and the craziness is at an all-time high.
On a good note, judge did rule U of M student detained by ICE cannot be deported.
Oh, so he's not going back to El Salvador.
No. He was going to end up going
Guatemala
to no, I can't remember exactly where he. Oh, excuse me, Turkish. He's Turkish.
Because you know they sent old boy to El Salvador, and El Salvador doesn't want to send him back.
Yep, because they got themselves a nice good old deal, $5,000 a head, and that's just for immigrants. Wait till they get to people of color. You think it's gonna stop there? It's not, because you can't tell me about the caucasity of my skin. I know what they do.
So let's get into our first.
Judge rules U of M student detained by ICE cannot be deported. The young man, the 28-year-old Turkish citizen, is an MBA student at a Carlson School of Management in Minneapolis and was detained by ICE in March. Now, he did get in trouble. Like many of us regular people get in trouble, but apparently we'll hold a immigrant on higher standards before we hold, a security guard or a police officer on any good high standards. He did have his visa revoked in 2023 for his DUI. But he's able to go back and go to court, get it, due process, basically, to go ahead and get his visa reinstated and not be deported. Because at the end of the day, the young man does not need to be deported because he made a mistake like any other regular American. Just because he's on a visa doesn't mean that he can't be human. That he can't go celebrate and do something. That he can't go release the edge of school, of college. Like many white Americans were able to experience while they were in college. We all make mistakes. And I'm glad that he was not deported, because he does have a chance to be able to better himself, learn from that mistake, and for him to be able to build the trust back up again so that he can gain it back. So at the end of the day, thank you for keeping him here. Yeah, so because we got ourselves a real good one here.
We got a viral story. Oof. A viral story. So viral that I'm quite sure you have probably already heard about it. A young lady.
I don't even want to know.
I don't even really want to call her a lady.
She ain't even a lady. She's a monster. She's a single mother monster that the father monster didn't even want to be around her.
This mother in Minnesota, because we were segueing off of Minnesota. Okay. Mother in Minnesota called a 5-year-old boy.
Wait, you forgot a big thing there. He was autistic.
So make sure they know. Autistic boy, the N-word. After the boy allegedly took a toy out of her child's bag. Now, I don't know where you're from.
What planet you're from.
But
last I knew,
if a child takes a toy, you may want to get the toy back.
But you don't call him that.
But you would not chastise the child over the toy by calling him a racial slur.
Oh, and following him around the park.
That seems...
And to be aggressive.
To be extremely excessive and unnecessary.
And you're disgusting and you're a pile of crap.
When approached by the person who videotaped her, because the young man heard her call the baby the N-word.
Right.
He asked her repeatedly, you called the child the N-word? And she not only doubled down
Tripled down.
Tripled down on it and said it 3 more times and said if he acts like one, that's what I'm going to call him. Now, there's more. The problem that I have, and each and every one of the people that are a part of this little movement, we're going to call them the donkey herd of the day.
Yeah, because those white woman tears have really gotten you far.
Donkeys. She has incurred, after this altercation that was her doing, by her being crass and her being
nasty
and just
a piece of trash,
all out a piece of gutter trash, she has incurred from donors who sympathize with her situation. She has got, how much has she got?
It says here $600,000 so far now since Sunday to relocate. Okay.
So
here, let me go ahead and give you a couple of the names of the donors here.
Hitler's
friend.
Over $500,000 for a woman who had to leave her home. Okay. Had to leave her home because she felt unsafe after this video went viral and people knew who she was, and they said something about her social security number was somehow they doxed her, so all her information was karma. Why would you call a child a racial slur over a toy that you can easily just walk over and go, no,
right?
That's
simple.
That's his baby,
and
take it back. Or that's his young man, and take it back and just go about your day.
To all you people,
but y'all have given her over $500,000. She's got $600,000 now since this happened, and it happened on April 25th
of this year.
That means it hasn't even been a full 2 weeks, and she's incurred over $500,000 for being a racist pig.
And they're also comparing it to, people are comparing this situation to the high school situation, because the boy that stabbed the other kid because the other kid was being a douchebag and being ridiculous, and the child was defending himself, and he got stabbed. F around and find out, sadly. Leave people alone. Then they say, hey, well, that boy, he killed a young man. And he had all this stuff, and but you can't compare those two.
Because you don't know what happened.
Well, no, the point is you still cannot fucking compare.
No,
Sorry,
but no, look.
You can't compare those two.
Okay, but here's the thing. We don't know what happened to that young man doing that. Because here, I got one for you. There was, I can't remember because I watch a lot of stuff now. I can't remember, but there was a young lady who awakened after an altercation with her roommate to have her white roommate standing over her, urinating on her in her sleep.
Here,
look it up.
Let me read a quote of just one person. After you wanted to say one last thing?
No, that's
all right. Because this, now, mind you, because this is on everything. This is on Newsbreak. This is on everything. All right. Here's a comment from somebody. It just keeps getting better. America is so back. I support this and donated myself. They now give, send, go. This is where the Give, Send, Go is the name of the place that she's getting this money from. Go, Send, Go turned off comments on the donations because of racism. Yet on Carmelo's, they never cared. The double standards are ridiculous, but those days are changing. Stay strong, brothers and sisters. That sounds like a whole Aryan nation kind of situation right there.
Yeah.
Especially after saying something like that, and then you say brothers and sisters. The Aryan nation also would say stuff like that. And
it's just really messed up because, like, okay, so I had my notes for this episode, right? I had my notes for this episode, and
that actually goes right into
what I'm gonna go and just tell you that there has been a lot of stuff going on that has been really, really stupid racist.
Ever since that piece of
really,
crap
really
has been
stupid racist.
Been in office.
And I'm going to give you one more little tidbit, and then the next thing you hear out of my mouth will be something positive. Because I could go on, and I'm mad as hell Monday and just keep y'all so mad with everything that I know and everything that I've been researching and all that stuff. But on the flip side, we are a stoner channel, and so we want to relax you.
Exactly.
Just want you to be informed.
But
what about this young lady who comes to work at Amazon? I believe this was in Ohio.
Okay, let's go.
She comes to work at Amazon and is escorted out by police.
Going to work.
Okay.
It's escorted out by police.
Now, if she was not scheduled, which I watched the video and it did not seem as though she was scheduled. I actually got mad at old girl, because I was like, look, in these situations, this is what this is America. We Black in America. When you get to a certain situation and you back down,
you need to be resting.
Go home. Go home.
Rest. Go rest. There's people out here that should be fighting this fight, not you.
But she stood her ground because she felt that I'm probably not going to get arrested just for coming to work, even if I'm not scheduled. She could not brandish the schedule on her phone to show the officer and the supervisor that she was scheduled that day. Now, I'm saying, even if she wasn't scheduled, you called the police on this child. You called the police on this employee because she wasn't scheduled to work. You couldn't have just wrote her up.
Wait, she willingly came to work.
She willingly came to work.
And you said this is for Amazon, right?
Willingly came to work.
To slave labor for you. Because that's what
willingly
they
came
are.
to work. Willingly came to work. She said that she was scheduled. The manager said she was not. Manager, of course, was white. The young lady in question, of course, was Black. Now, even if she was not scheduled,
why was the police needing to be involved?
You called the police.
You couldn't simply tell her to go home?
Now you're trying to tell me that this type of behavior is normal? You call the police on her? But no, you sticking our chest out now because Donald is all in office. We're going to get her done. Yeah.
Okay. So, we got to take it back. We're going to take it back because here's a situation where the cops should have been involved. Well, they should have been. If there was a problem, you call the cops, right?
Yeah.
That's what everybody says. Everybody says, well, why did they call the cops?
She wasn't violent.
Why didn't she call the cops? But see, there's places like Florida that use a law to commit murder.
What's that law?
It's called stand your ground. Right? So we have our young man, the beginning of I guess you could say mine, because Rodney King was more like what, early 90s, like I was still a young child. So at that time, kids don't have and shouldn't have to have knowledge of disgusting nastiness like that, of a beatdown.
Man.
Now, I watched that video later on in my older life, and I was appalled and was in shock over a moped. You beat the brains basically out of this man. You make him special, not right in the head afterwards. Okay? Now, in my time, we had Trayvon Martin, a young man, a young child. Here, he was 17 years old. Now, yeah, okay, whatever. People are saying, well, he was a troublesome child with his mother. Well, yeah, she sent his ass to his dad, where he needed to be then, so that man can raise a man. But he didn't get a chance to do that. Because he was walking home from a convenience store. He is new to the community, yes, absolutely. And because a Mexican white man, let's make sure that we get this correct, a Mexican white man, he is mixed, biracial. All right? Zimmerman is a mixed person, Mexican and white. So instead of doing what the 911 operator told him to do, stand down, cops are on their way, don't worry about it, we'll handle this. We will take care of this. No, he didn't do that. Don't do that. You don't do that here.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. We don't sit down. We're going to go stand our ground. I'm going to follow this young boy. Now, mind you, if somebody's following me at night, I'm going to hide. I'm not going to continue to let you follow me. So you continue to follow me. I'm going to hide and you still continue to follow me. I'm going to jump you and whoop your ass. Huh? Yeah, he's had a right to beat him up. Every right, you're following me. And then that tussle, he shoots him and kills that child. Kills him. And you wonder why people don't trust him. You wonder. So, now he died February 26, 2012. 13 years ago. It's taking 13 years to get people to get this picture in their head. Can't seem to do it, though. So what it's like the cause of death was a homicide, and that's how it's labeled. And for him to get off on this, he got no time. Nothing, because of stand your ground. And he didn't even follow what was told. You are not the police, baby. You are not. I don't care if you were neighborhood watch. You shot and murdered that young man. That sparked what we have now. It sparked movements that needed to be moved. And for everybody out there that don't seem to care or seem to want to be enlightened or take the wool off your eyes, I pray that it does not happen to you.
It definitely needs to stop.
And then you sell the gun on eBay. That's just ultimately disrespectful, especially to the person who bought it.
Now,
rest in peace, Trayvon Martin. Sadly, you had to be a start of something that should have been done a long time ago. And you had to be sacrificed by somebody while he gets to live, even though he lives a lonely, trifling ass life, broke piece of crap. I hope you're haunting him every night, all day long.
Probably looking over his shoulder every day.
All day long. I hope you are haunting him.
Now, we earlier went to the movie theater and we saw the Thunderbolts! We are the Thunderbolts! Man, okay, so let me give you more than just an out-of-theater review on the Thunderbolts. Not going to spoil it for you. Not everybody makes it. Not everybody makes it.
No.
I mean, they're fighting the Sentry in this, and the Void.
The Void.
The Void does his thing.
Yes, he'd be voiding.
And there's a scene with Sentry fighting the Thunderbolts. And bruh, that's all I'm going to say on that. With the way bro. Like, okay, so in the trailer, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. In fact, some of my responses in this review are going to be misleading. But there's a part when Sentry throws Red Guardian out the window. And I was just like, Now, I can't even mislead you on that because Red Guardian, David Harbour, they got an action figure for him.
course. Yeah,
so you know he made it.
Yeah, of course
you
he
know
did.
he made it.
Of course he did.
It was one of the funniest things in the movie. The movie has a whole bunch of layers, like 16 TV. We have layers like an onion. Has a whole bunch of layers to it. Mental health. Florence Pugh does her thing. It was basically like Black Widow 2. Bucky does his thing. He lends his the action and the brooding stare, and we all know his story. So when it goes through the whole thing, and I really
Sebastian
think they did their
does
thing.
his job.
They did their thing on this.
Yes.
Ghost. She shines a little bit in the film because they gave her a little more screen time.
But she still did. She did what she did.
Yeah, Val was slimy as ever.
She was slimy.
So slimy.
Because
she's
the sliminess in the beginning was,
I think she's slimier than because Amanda Waller just gives no Fs. She just gives no Fs. Yeah. You just hate Amanda Waller in the DC universe
just because she just don't care.
She's just cold and she don't care. But Val is a liar.
She
slimy.
She strokes your ego. She just strokes the ego. Like yes, so you're
slimy.
My kitten. Kitten.
She's so slimy. But you'll enjoy the movie if you go see Thunderbolts. You will enjoy the movie. I've heard a lot of people say Marvel is back. Marvel is back. In this film, it does give you some old Avengers vibes purposely. I don't want to spoil it, so I just want to tell you the asterisk next to Thunderbolts does actually mean something. And stay to the end of the movie. We was in the movie and people was acting like it wasn't a Marvel movie and they just was leaving, and we looking like that was only the first after the credits scene.
Two, bro.
What are y'all doing? Y'all missing the one. The most important scene after the credit scene is the second after the credit scene.
Very important. I'm not saying anything. This
is the no spoiler review.
Yep. I was about to say something like, but then that would have given it all away, the whole way. So
what was you talking about?
I'm not going to say it because it's going to give it away.
Okay. Well, we're not going to give away the film. Sinners was a vibe. Didn't give away the film though. Told y'all Sinners was a vibe. Go see Sinners if you have not seen Sinners.
And make sure you do your research on what they mean by picking the Robin clean.
And Thunderbolts was definitely on point. And when you say you wanted to go see Final Destination,
bro,
go see Final Destination Bloodlines because just Final Destination, just all of them. The film series as a whole is just.
It's the
and fact, I believe it was the last acting appearance of R.I.P. Tony Todd.
Yes,
I believe it was his last film.
Yeah, and you got me thinking now.
Yeah.
Here, I'll do it.
I mean,
Tony Todd's last movie.
He did the voice of Venom in Spider-Man 2 video game, and I believe that Final Destination Bloodlines was his last film because you could tell in his face and everything that he was.
I believe so.
He was, sick, or he was, slimming down, getting in that mode to go home. You know what I mean? But yeah. Anything else?
No, but I believe that was going to be the last one because everything keeps popping up as Final Destination. So, man. So thanks again for showing up with us. And thank you very much again for your support. All of our subscribers, all 722, thank you. We're slowly getting there. So don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and get notified, especially share. See you next time on Wicked Wednesday. Pieces.